and welcome to class today. My name is Miss Mushogia from Kanyanjara Primary School. Welcome for English lesson, grade 3. And today we're going to do a reading comprehension where we read a story and test if we have understood what the story was about. So welcome, and today's comprehension passage will be about wild animals. Wild animals. As you can remember, previously we have learned about wild animals and also domestic animals. Domestic animals, as you can remember, we said that are the animals that we keep at home. Those that we take care of. We feed them, we build a shelter for them, we take good care of them. And then, on the other hand, we have the wild animals. Wild animals are found out there in the wild. Nobody is responsible for them, and they are not, we don't give them food, they fend for their own food and all that. In our country, we have many places where we have reserves that have been put in place to protect these wild animals. So we have places where animals live away from humans, and they are protected from humans in a place called a reserve, a game reserve. So a game reserve is a place where animals stay and they are protected from people who might kill them for meat. Others kill them to sell their body parts, like the tusks of elephants. And so they are protected in that reserve, and so they are kept away from harm. So today we are looking at wild animals, and the story that we are going to look at will be about wild animals. All right. Now we have some words, some new words that we are going to look at today. So starting with the first word, that is chimpanzee. So a chimpanzee is a wild animal that is found in our game reserves. The next word is calm. The next word is calm. So we have the word calm. We also have the word trumpet. Trumpet. And we have the word warden. Those are some of the new words that we are going to come across in our story. So let's read together. Chimpanzee, chimpanzee. We have calm, calm. We have trumpet, trumpet. And we have warden. Let's say warden. Okay. So this is an animal in the family of apes, and it's found in the wilderness. It's found in the wild. As you can see from the picture, this is a chimpanzee. This is a chimpanzee. Then we have calm. I know you have heard of calm. When we're learning environmental activities, we have calm weather, if you can remember. Yes, but calm in this context or in this story, we are going to learn about calm remaining peaceful, remaining peaceful. Then we have the word trumpet. Trumpet. The word trumpet could be familiar from musical activities, right? A wind instrument. But in this regard, we will be talking about the trumpet being the sound an elephant makes. So an elephant trumpets to make that noise of an elephant, okay? And then we have the name warden. The name warden. So the name warden. A warden is someone who is working in a game reserve and they protect the animals. They take people around the park or the reserve. They know where the animals are. They know what we are not supposed to do when we visit these places, and they are the ones that guide us when we go to visit these places. So that is a warden. All right, now I want us to look at the title of the story. I'm going to write it down. A visit to the Mara Reserve. A visit to the Mara Reserve. Now, you remember what we've said a reserve is? We have a place called the Mara, where we have a large piece of land where animals roam freely and they are protected, as we said. What happens in the reserve? I would like for you to look at the picture. Look at the picture and study it well. Tell me what you can see. And now, with the picture and the title of the story, I would like for you to make a prediction. What is going to happen in the story? What do you think will happen in the story? What is likely to happen in the story? We have the title, A Visit to the Mara Reserve. And you have seen the picture. Make a prediction. You can share with someone who is close to you, someone who is next to you. Let them know what you predict is going to happen in the story. Okay, now we are going to read together. We are going to read the story together. All right, let's start. So the title is A Visit to the Mara Reserve. A Visit to the Mara Reserve. And it goes, last holiday, Nasserian's class went to the Mara Game Reserve. They wanted to arrive early, so they left home at 8 o'clock. Their teacher told them that all animals in the reserve are protected. People are not allowed to kill them for meat. She said to them, I expect we shall see many big and small animals. So when we come across them, do not shout. Animals don't like noise. A game warden took them round the park. First, they only saw thorn trees full of birds' nests. Then they came across some chimpanzees that were jumping from tree to tree. The gazelles remained calm under the trees grazing. Then they saw a herd of elephants in a thicket. They were eating shrubs and tree barks. One of them started to trumpet. Naserian and her friend were scared, but the game warden told them not to fear. They then heard a loud roar. They saw a lion chasing a buffalo. The two ran into a thick bush. Now, very good. It's your turn to read on your own. And when you're reading on your own, once you come across the new words, you remember the new words? We had chimpanzee, calm, trumpet, warden. Once you come across those words, you do a thumbs up. All right? Now, it's your turn to read on your own. Let's go. Okay, that is good. Very good. Now, we will go back to our predictions. Okay? You remember what you had predicted will happen in the story? Now, I want you to confirm if you got it right or you were a little bit off. And it's okay. It's okay if you don't predict right. It's all good. Next time you will be able to get it right. So don't worry if you didn't get it right. But good effort for all those that tried, and keep it up for those that got it right. So as we can see, from the story, we have Naserian's class. They went to the game reserve that is called the Mara, and they saw many different animals, and I think they must have had so much fun. Yes? Yes, it's always a wonderful experience going to the park and seeing wild animals. So, yes, now I want us to go through that story again, something that we call retelling. Are you able to retell that story to someone after you've read it? Are you able to narrate it to someone who has not read it? I am going to go through the retelling process with you, and we will do it together. And so we will start by building a schoolhouse. A schoolhouse. So if you can look at that, that's the roof. So here we will have the title. So what was the title of our story? A visit to the Mara Reserve. A visit to the Mara Reserve. Then we have the characters, the people mentioned in the story, characters. So the characters in the story, who are the characters in the story? All right, so the setting was in the Mara Reserve. That is where the story was taking place. And then now we are going to look at what happened at the beginning of the story. Can you remember what happened at the beginning of the story? So, at the beginning of the story, we are told Naserian's class went to the Mara Reserve. So, at the beginning, Naserian's class went to the Mara Reserve. And also, at the beginning, we are told that they left early. At what time did they leave? They left at 8. They left early at 8 in the morning because they wanted to get there early in order to see the many animals they were going to see. All right, now once we look at that, let's see what happened in the middle of the story. In the middle of the story, we see the teacher telling them how they ought to behave, how they need to behave once they get to the reserve. She said, who can remember? So the teacher said, don't make noise. Don't make noise. Don't shout. When you see these animals, you might see an elephant and you're very excited. Don't shout. Remain calm because animals don't like noise. Okay? And then, still in the middle of the story, they met the game warden who took them round the park. And at first, they did not see any animals. They were only seeing thorn trees full of birds' nests. And a little bit later, they came across chimpanzees. What were the chimpanzees doing? Good. The chimpanzees were jumping from tree to tree. So we write in the middle of the story, what happened? The teacher said, the teacher told them, not to shout because animals don't like noise. Animals don't like noise. Then they met the game warden. So they met the warden and they saw thorn trees, full of birds' nests. In the middle is also where they saw the chimpanzees. They saw the chimpanzees and gazelles. They also saw the chimpanzees and the gazelles. We said the chimpanzees were jumping from one tree to another, and the gazelles were grazing calmly under the trees. In the end, what did they see? At the end of the story, what did they see? So in the end, very good, they saw a herd of elephants So a herd of elephants is a group of elephants, and the herd of elephants, they were eating shrubs and tree barks. And when they were seeing them, that is when one of the elephants started to trumpet. Okay? And what happened when the elephant started to trumpet? Yes, Nicerian and her friends were scared. They were very scared. But the warden told them, it's fine, do not fear. Then, still at the end, they heard a roar. They heard a loud roar. Which animal roars? Very good. A lion. And it was chasing a lion. Was chasing a buffalo. So a lion chased the buffalo and they ran into a thick bush. The buffalo was running away from the lion and the lion was chasing after the buffalo, and they got to a thick bush. So that is the summary of our story, and we can be able to retell this story without reading from the book. Okay? So I will do it. We've read the story and the title was A Visit to the Mara Reserve. The people that were in the story, or the characters in the story, we have Nicerian and her classmates. There was their teacher and also the game warden who took them round the game reserve. The setting, where did this story take place? This story took place in the Mara Reserve. So, Nicerian and her classmates, they were going to the Mara Reserve and they wanted to get there early in the morning. So they left at 8 to get there in good time. They were hoping to see many animals, and the teacher told them, in the middle of the story, the teacher told them not to shout when they see the animals, because animals do not like noise. Animals don't like noise. So at the game reserve, they met a game warden. And the game warden took them round the reserve, and at first they did not see many animals. They just saw thorn trees full of birds' nests. And then they saw chimpanzees that were jumping from one tree to another. And also they saw gazelles that were grazing under the trees. In the end, they saw a herd of elephants. And they also heard a loud roar. And we said a roar comes from a lion. And that lion was chasing after a buffalo. And together, the lion and the buffalo ran into a thick bush. And that is the end of our story. Now, you can look at the questions that are after the comprehension to see, after the story, to see if we have understood the story and what it was about. So the first one we will do together. We will find the answer together. The second one you will do on your own. And the third, fourth, and fifth. So the first question reads, when did Naserian and her classmates visit the game reserve? When did Naserian and her classmates visit the game reserve? Let's go back to the story. The first paragraph. Let's read together. Last holiday, Naserian's class went to the Mara Game Reserve. Last holiday, Naserian's class went to the Mara Game Reserve. So when did they go? They visited the game reserve last holiday. Let's see the second question. Write down names of 5 wild animals mentioned in the story. Write down names of 5 wild animals mentioned in the story. So that you will do on your own. You will write the 5 names of the wild animals mentioned in the story. Very good. Now we are going to question number 3. What did the teacher mean when she said that the animals are protected? What did the teacher mean when she said that the animals are protected? You remember the teacher in the story told them that the animals are protected. What did she mean by that? You can write your answer again. Then we are told to read paragraph 4 while paying keen attention to the punctuation marks. Read paragraph 4 while paying keen attention to the punctuation marks. Very good. And now, finally, since we are at home, you will talk about what you think happened between the lion and the buffalo to the person that is with you at home. It could be your guardian, your sibling, your cousins, your friends, the person that you're with at home. tell them what you think happened between the lion and the buffalo. So we have come to the end of our lesson. Thank you for tuning in. Have fun learning English.